Hey, we are live here with Engaging Personalities with Engagify. Today, we're going to be talking about virtual trade show platforms and specifically one from Bartizan. And we're going to have a little walkthrough demo because I've got lots of connections and contacts and Facebook friends and LinkedIn people who are in marketing because that's what we did. In fact, we've done our share of trade shows over the years. So we want to kind of peel back the onion, the layers, I guess, if you will, and take a look at what virtual trade shows are all about, and specifically, how can exhibitors really get value for their investments because all these shows have shifted to virtual, and in the future, I'm sure, to a hybrid model as well. So I'm going to introduce Chris Eisenberg, and he's the executive vice president of Bartizan. Chris, welcome to the show. And this is kind of like, we've organized this kind of last minute, but I saw an email from you. I thought, I want to connect with you. Bartizan's known for their iLeads app, for lead generation for exhibitors. And so I have a feeling that, what you've created is going to be, in favor of exhibitors and people are going to get value. But you want to just kind of introduce the company and kind of what you've created, and then we'll bring in Amy and we'll get into a demo so people can understand how they can garner value from a virtual trade show.
Absolutely. First of all, thanks, Anders, for having us. We're very happy to be here. I think this is a great opportunity. It's a great show and great opportunity for us to be here. Bartizan has been around as a trade show supplier for many years. God, I want to say like 27 years at this point. As you mentioned, we did create the iLeads lead retrieval app. Actually, Ayman, who's with us today, Ayman Ahmed, was the creator of the iLeads lead retrieval app. But we actually started off with the old shoebox model, the Bartizan Ultra, back in the early 90s, before I was with the company. And when the virus hit in March, Ayman, our CTO, worked tirelessly to help us pivot to a virtual platform, a virtual exhibit hall that we could provide to our customers and anyone else that needed it. I mean, we were all in survival mode at that point. And I think what Ayman has come up with is a great virtual exhibit hall, and we've got other things that we will be adding to it as well as far as the virtual trade show. But I think we're always, you mentioned return on investment for exhibitors and for shows as well, and certainly that's always at the forefront of what we're thinking when we do this. So what I'd like to do is just turn it over to our CTO Ayman, who's going to walk us through the virtual exhibit hall, how it works, and how it benefits both shows and exhibitors.
All right, great. Let's bring in Ayman. Hey, Ayman, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much, Anderson, for bringing us on, and we're so excited to show you what we have.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to get complicated. Woo, there we go. Get off that screen because that's like confusing for everyone. We're going down the rabbit hole. But go to the demo and maybe just kind of
very nice.
Talk us and walk us through, how this works, because I think this whole virtual trade show thing, it's an idea and a concept, but people just don't understand exactly what that's going to look like, what that's going to mean.
Okay, well, normally, instead of going through a hall that is already physical, and you walk and you look left or right, and you try to figure out what the exhibitor does, and then you go and talk to them, we just try to bring everything into online. And the whole process as it goes for the attendee side, the attendee will get an email from us to come and to the exhibit hall and view all the and interact with the exhibitors out there.
Yeah.
So normally they would get an email that looks like this, and then when they click on it would have a personalized link. So that link is only special for that attendee. So once they click that link, they go to the exhibit hall. And the exhibit hall itself has multiple different ways you can actually get into it, but we can get into it through this link first. And then you can go down. Now, whether you can browse very quickly to the companies that are exhibiting there, or you can search for them in the search here, let's say Bartizan, or with advanced search where there are categories for products or the category of market segment, location, and such. So they can search for that. And then when they go to one of the booths, then they can see more details. And now this is what gets more exciting now.
So I mean, you can search for it if you know what booth you're looking for, which is great compared to having to walk across the hall and find it on the map and that kind of thing, right?
Correct.
And the other piece is that you can just browse through it kind of like you would be walking past aisles, right? So this is how you find. Okay, great. And then
I would jump in and
sure.
Anders, I would just jump in and add one more thing about the search. I mean, it's really a robust search function. So if you don't know the name and you don't want to browse, if you know a specific type of product for that trade show or service that you're looking for that in that trade show, you can really drill down as far as the type of product or service you're looking for, and the search will bring you to those specific companies that offer what you're looking for. So there's really an ability to drill down to the specific product or service that you're looking for and save time for the attendee.
Right. Kind of a category. Kind of how trade shows.
Yes.
Certain products are in a certain area of the show. You have categorized them, and there's all kinds of metadata that you can search by. I guess.
Exactly. Actually, the exhibitor themselves, when they are setting up their booth, they can have keywords in there for people to search for them. Also, they can select what categories they fall under to be able to be found on the exhibit hall. So it's really very universal and versatile, and it's very adapted to each show differently.
Right. So also what's kind of interesting is just, again, comparing it to a physical show, you might not know what category a company falls under depending on their signage, right? And in this way, you might be discovered by by people who may not have realized you did that, right? So that's
right. Okay. Correct. So once I located my booth, the exhibit that I would like to look at, then I can come in here and read about the exhibitor. The exhibitors also can give me a video about what the company does and what they are actually promoting for this specific show. They can have the description of the company, what it does, some links to some of their products up here, or they can go wild with the rest of the link key thing here that we call it. They can have their YouTube channel, for example. They can have their
you have done well promoting your event. The people have arrived.
The video started.
There's active video. That's no. Well, but you need those things to differentiate yourself on your page, right? Like that's one of the things that let's just chat for a second on the idea that virtual trade shows have been around for a long time, but the actual technology hadn't changed for years, right? It's been very basic. Now there's kind of this new level of functionality, I should say. And so, but differentiating yourself page to page when all the pages are structured the same way, companies need that ability to have those videos and those pieces that really do make them stand out. Yes?
Correct. They can have even over here, some landing pages for different products or promotions that they are doing at that point. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. So they can actually try to engage users through social media from all these links over here. There is another part to the booth where they can create their own products and attach documents to the product. So they can attach videos that's specific to these products. So for example, here, if an attendee click on a product, they can see what the product does. They can see some related videos here, and I'm afraid to touch any video now. It's going to start playing. And the documents actually that related to that specific product. Well, they can download it, or they can bookmark it for their virtual tote bag for when they come back later. They can start looking at that if they don't have time right now. Or also you can have on your profile some specific videos that in general, like message from the CEO or the product demo of some sort. So you really can go wild with what you can do and present as content to that attendee.
So yeah, it looks like you have a huge, what would it be, a repository of videos that you can put in there, right? Like it looks like there's quite a few. Because some of those booths that I've kind of secret shopped, there was basically like one place for a video, and that's all you got, right? So it's nice to be able to, and also to drill down on those different products and kind of go on a deeper dive. Now, let me ask you this question: is any interaction within the booth is attached to the user attendee data, right? So you would know if it was my booth and Chris was coming in and clicking around, I would be able to see everything that he looked at. Is that true?
Absolutely. And this is actually what an exhibitor logs into the system can see from an attendee activity, filtered by name or sorted by name. You can find that they clicked the product, they watched the video, and you see the dates that they have. They clicked more info, they clicked on the profile and visited the profile. So all these little details can give you an idea of what the attendee did and what kind of product they are interested in. They downloaded a lot of, they clicked on 3 products, for example, but then they started to download information about 2 products. So most likely they are also interested in those products. So you'll be able to gauge all this from all these details here. So you see what they did and who they are.
So it's kind of different because you don't have to scan a badge because their very presence in your booth is doing that, right? So this is kind of, just again, comparing physical trade shows to virtual trade shows. And then the other thing is their own curiosity in the booth is leaving a trail, right? For you to know what the leads did, possible conversation starters for, inside sales reps and a follow-up. There's all kinds of things where you didn't have to have that conversation and make notes specifically because everything's being tracked.
Yes, it's actually a lot easier. It's the wealth of information now that we have. Sometimes you used to have by the booth and you really don't even know what this booth does. So you don't stop at it. And most likely, maybe it was a very important vendor that you wanted to actually find out about. Mm-hmm. So now you can see all these things at your own pace. Some people also, by the way, it's a little, they go to trade shows and they are not like really, really social. So they don't they want to get into the booth, start looking at the stuff. And then once the booth staff approach them, they just leave. Hi, and then they leave. But here, they're really more comfortable. They get into more comfortable to be able to drill down through all the information that a specific exhibitor has.
Right. So yeah. So on the personal side of things, I think it's the idea that what you're saying is those introverted people, they feel more comfortable just to click around and do their own thing, which is really kind of exposing maybe their actual interest as opposed to keeping their guard up and not engaging with the booth staff, right? Or leaving it up to the booth staff to draw out of it.
It's interesting that you say that because I've been at a lot of shows. I've exhibited at a lot of shows, and there's a lot of people who walk by your booth and they will just not look in your direction because God forbid that you catch their eye and might have a short conversation with them, right? They're just, head down, will not, I leave them alone. But in this, yes, you're exactly right. And I hadn't thought of that, but an introvert would be very comfortable spending as much time as they want, kind of looking at let's click on the social media, let's click on the website, let's click on these other links, let's watch some videos. So they really can do it at their leisure. And as you guys pointed out, it's robust reporting on the back end. So you're going to see all the actions taken by the attendee when they visit your booth.
So let's, and I'll go back into the screen share with you there, Ayman, in a second. I just want to kind of change things up. But one of the things I wanted to ask now is we're talking about the lack of, engaging with a person of the company because they're free to click and look and do whatever they want. What about, developing that relationship, right? Because people buy things from people in the end. I mean, until AI takes over sales, I suppose. How can let's say I'm part of a company in the booth staff and I'm in the booth, in quotes, and someone has questions, or can I go, hey, can I help you? Do you want to have a chat? Kind of thing like that. Do you want to kind of speak to that?
Here, there is actually a chat function here. So if once I am ready to engage on the attendee, ready to engage the exhibitor, they can click on the chat function here, and they can just start sending them messages. Why are you there? And then they will see if already the exhibitor was online or not. So if the exhibitor is online, that will say online, and they start chatting with them right away. There is also, and then if it's not, then the exhibitor will get an email. So maybe somebody at his leisure, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, started to do that. So the exhibitor will get an email saying, John left you a message, and then they can actually respond to that message to come in to the system, and then start the conversation there. Also, what we are adding pretty soon is also a video chat function to that, where you will be able to see a list of available times that the exhibitors are available at. They are going to set up, let's say, 15 minutes conversation time. So you can book a video chat with the exhibitor as well in this level. If you want to. Also, we have, here some kind of an indicator to the exhibitor what I might want. So the exhibitors themselves can set up a Q&A, a survey of some sort, where they can actually ask you a series of questions. Have you tried this product? Have you tried that product? Are you interested in which product you're interested in? So they can actually get all this kind of information that I would have, as an exhibitor, would have asked you during our own conversation. Put it up as a survey, and the attendee can actually go through it and answer them. So now when I log into my system, I can see, as an exhibitor, I can see what questions were answered and who answered them.
So in that way, it's like you're getting the survey is qualifying questions really for, the company. So they know, how valuable a lead it is. And not only that, but I feel like because of the systematic way, and it looks pretty user-friendly, pretty easy to click through, not intimidating. I think it'd be surprising to see how many people are like, oh yeah, no, I want this, and if they're showing interest, it might be easier than qualifying people live, because sometimes again there's that caginess that sometimes people put up walls. So that's interesting how that works. So there is the one-to-one video that you can crank up.
Right.
The other things you did mention too, that you're saying that you can see if that booth, I guess, worker, a staff booth person, right, is on duty, is ready to receive a chat or anything. Do you see all the people that are kind of working, but then you can only, like, if you wanted to find someone who is available in that moment, can you kind of do that?
Currently is not available, but that's coming also in the works.
Okay, because it's interesting, because it's similar. We do trainings for trade shows in, like face-to-face trainings. And we actually had a company who had us develop a virtual trade show training. And some of the same problems are the same problems in a real trade show. The fact that you're goofing off, not paying attention when someone walks by the aisle, right? And it's like, so to make sure that you are on duty and ready to receive people, is key. So that's why I think that's an important thing, that if you're working the booth, work the booth, and don't get off tasking on your work at home.
Right. Here's what we do suggest with that, which is that actually when someone purchases this, the virtual exhibit hall is open for a month. So it can be open, let's say 2 weeks before the show, 2 weeks after the show, whatever you want. But what we say is, just as in a real trade show, let your attendees know the hours. So let's say it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 9 to 3, just to have random hours, and make sure that you're strongly suggest to your exhibitors that during the hours the trade show is open, that they should have someone in the booth. They may choose not to. They may be the virtual equivalent of the guy who's, chatting with his friend as people walk down the aisle. But we do suggest that. So because we do offer to them for a month so that they can have this, kind of long period of time that the exhibitor can have this advertising to the attendees, and the attendees can go look. It also works well for a hybrid model. So if you're not sure how many people are going to show up, I noticed that IEEE is going to be live in Louisville in December, and they are anticipating a lot of people being virtual as well. So if you've got that hybrid type of event, you have the virtual exhibit hall open for 2 weeks before, and both people that aren't going and people that are going can spend that time looking at the booths. Then after the show is over, they still have a week or two to go look at the booths then as well, to follow up on whatever they've learned during the show.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's kind of
extending the opportunity without really drawing down on people's resources much in the right? Just have one person,
right.
watching that.
Well, it's an extension of their virtual marketing. I mean, rather than their website, they've got other ways to do it where they've got this unique audience of attendees of a certain show, which they're obviously exhibiting at for a reason, because they think the attendees would be interested in what they have to sell. So, yeah.
Okay. Was there some other features that you wanted to? If I switch back, I'll give it to you back.
There's actually one more feature that for different shows. Some shows actually they do some selling on some real selling, and by doing a special offers that they can push the attendee to be later on to be able to buy something from them. So they can actually do a special offer specifically to the show to drive traffic to their booth around the time. It can be anything from giving them a 10% or you get 1 free for whatever. And it has actually an email capability here where you can actually email it to. So for email it to somebody else, you can download this or print actually the coupon offer itself, and you can put an expiration on it as well. You can have as many offers as you would like, for that matter. So for some, normally, like I would call it a buyer shows, even that the virtual trade show will actually help them out as well by doing the special offer stuff. And we've seen a lot of exhibitors actually utilizing this feature.
Nice. Okay. It's a whole new world, so it's very, very interesting. Now, as far as let's do this one again. As far as, let's say there's who knows who's going to watch here, but maybe there's some show producers or some people who are looking for a platform to host their trade show or hybrid or what have you, like you were saying. What are some of the advantages to someone who's putting on the show? Like we really look at it from an exhibitor point of view, which I love, and that's how I'm kind of filtering things. But what are some of the the ways that whether it's selling sponsorships or showing that value to exhibitors? You want to speak to that?
Okay. Well, we have actually on top of, if you noticed, we have on top here is actually some ad placements over here where exhibitors can have their ads in there, as well as a link to their website or whatever they want. And also, once somebody clicks on these things, they actually get reporting on that. We are also adding a banners ads here as well for the tote bag as well. So there is some sponsorship opportunity in here as well.
And the sponsors are all at the top, right? And so you can hierarchy the different sponsors, but all the opportunities for sponsoring, like you said, the tote bag, they still kind of right? There's still those pieces they can sell.
And actually, you can sort them and separate them by their level of sponsorship itself. So the platinum sponsorship, they can be actually on top, and then they go on and on until they become just a normal exhibitor. Also, what we have here is normally we have all these features. You can slice it and dice it with that. So you can slice and dice. You don't have to offer all the features to an exhibitor before you do. So from the show, the way I'm thinking about it is that normally when you sell a booth at a trade show, a physical trade show, so you can have a 10 by 20, you can have a 20 by 20. And then here, instead of that, you can slice and dice all the features that you can actually offer your exhibitor to have. So you may want to just only to give them a simple boost like that. Nothing really, nothing up from from here down. These are all optionals. You maybe want to give them just the chat function with the video chatting. Maybe you want to have them only to have 2 products, but somebody else can have 10 products. So you can slice and dice all these features that you have seen and sell it to them the way you would like it to be, to be sold.
Ayman, we should also talk about the robust reporting for the show organizers, because it's just as you saw the reporting for the exhibitors.
Have 2 products, but somebody else can have 10 products. So you can slice and dice all these features that you have seen and sell it to them the way you would like it to be sold.
Cool.
Ayman, we should also talk about the robust reporting for the show organizers, because it's just as you saw the reporting for the exhibitors.
Have 2 products, but somebody else can have 10 products. So you can slice and dice all these features that you have seen and
I'm on rewind.
sell it to them the way you would like it.
What's going on here?
Be sold.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Yeah, I got to my last comment got delayed. So I just wanted to, in terms of, are we okay now?
Yeah, sorry, we had a loop thing happen.
I feel like I'm in a Godzilla movie. My lips are talking, but nothing's coming out. It's not matching. So I just wanted to talk about some of the other advantages for show organizers. One is the same reporting that you saw for exhibitors, we have for show organizers as well in the meta version. So the show organizer is able to see how all the exhibitors are doing in terms of the data being collected, what the attendees are doing and stuff like that. So if an exhibitor is maybe calling the show organizer and saying, hey, I'm not sure how well I did the show, and the show organizer can pull it up and say, and the exhibitor should be able to see, but if for some reason they're not, the show organizer is able to demonstrate, oh, you've got this many attendees, they did this many activities, you had this many people look at your special offers. So there's a lot of great reporting there. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that we are low cost compared to, I'm not going to get into prices now, they'd have to call us directly, but we're very inexpensive compared to a lot of the virtual shows out there. We're also, as a small company, we are fast, we are nimble, we are flexible, so we can put up shows very quickly at a very reasonable cost. So I think that's always something that's relevant to show organizers.
For sure. And yeah, I've shared the link below. And that's those things you said with ROI. We have to prove ROI for people, who are purchasing, sponsoring, investing, hopefully investing, right? That they can see that ROI, and just also to kind of compare across to see what levels of sponsorship pull different amounts of. I would find that fascinating, that kind of back end reporting, just to kind of see what how you can actually elevate your presence, elevate your ability to get seen. I think that's fascinating. Yeah, very cool. Hey, anything you guys want to also mention before we wrap this up? I want to thank you, by the way, for being able to do this. Gives me a better understanding too of just kind of the different differences between some of the platforms. I really do like seeing the depth of offering that you have, or that companies can showcase, which is refreshing. Yeah.
We also actually we are working right now on adding also a virtual sessions to the exhibit hall. So when you're coming into a lobby, a virtual lobby where you can go to the exhibit hall, or you can go to the sessions that you actually bought. And then so you get to see the agenda, and if there is a video that is already for the session finished, they can click on it and watch it if you are allowed to do that. If there is a live session like that, then they will be able to see it coming in live to the player.
Awesome, cool. Anything else from you, Chris?
No, just that if they're interested, we'd love to hear from them. And you know, Ayman, our fearless technical leader, is always adding new great features. So it's always exciting to see what else is next on our plate as far as the development goes.
And that's the beauty of, you know, cloud-based technology, right? That it's always being updated, and you're just like, you know, software as a service kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be amazing where this goes, you know, in the next year or two, to see, you know, what else can be developed. But hey, thank you guys, both Chris and I'm from Bartizan, and thank you very much for watching. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Anders.
For having us. Thank you.